Okay, you guys, who's ready for my 2021 Hobonichi Cousin setup? It's here now. Hi everybody, welcome back to Project Happy Home. For those of you who are new here, I'm Tanya, doctor, lawyer, turned homeschool mom of 3 kids ages 11, 8, and 6. I think I've been messing that up recently, actually. But yeah, those are their ages. In any case, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you my setup for my 2021 Hobonichi Cousin. This is my 6th year, I believe, in the Hobonichi Cousin, and I could not be happier. I will be very, very sad if they ever go out of business because, seriously, I might have a breakdown. All right, so as you can tell, I have not changed my cover. I have the same cover on cover actually from last year. Now, I have only ever had one cover for my Hobonichi, and it has been the same throughout. It has this like olive yellow, beautiful chartreuse type of inside, and it has a navy outside, and I love it so much. I only ever had 2 cover on covers, so this is my second that I've ever bought, and it's doing just fine. If you're not familiar with a cover on cover, basically they come with like a little pocket here. You can put in things like pictures or money, whatever you want, and it just keeps your leather cover pretty safe. My cover is actually sort of fabric-y leather on the outside and leather on the inside. And it's been doing great, you know, like I don't have any issues with it. It comes with these 2 bookmarks and I've just loved it. I haven't had a single problem with my cover. It has these little pockets here. I keep the Hobonichi stencils right here. These Penloops can be used to keep your book together. I don't use it for that purpose. I use it for like pen storage. So I put my little zebra mild liners here, and I put the 2 pens that I use right here. My 2 favorite pens to use in the Hobonichi are the pen that they send you, which is a UDIBLE pen. It's a tricolor pen, and it lasts me the entire year. It has a very, very fine point. And also the Sakura Pigma Microns in 01s. Kind is my word of the year. Now, one of my favorite things about the Hobonichi is in a fairly compact volume. Now, my tip-ins have actually made this look bigger than it is. When you get the book, it's probably looks about this thick or so. You can have a yearly section, a monthly section, a weekly section, as well as daily spreads. And that is just worth its weight in gold, in my opinion. I like having my planning being very compact and easy to use. As you can tell, the yearly section is laid out like a Calendex spread where you have 4 pages that cover 12 months. And I have decided to use it this year as a habit tracker. So I have more of my personal growth type of habits right here, not so much my physical health growth. So you have read, journal, gratitudes, cherish, meditate, move, create, play, love, and no spend. And I'm going to track all of those just with simple X's for now. I'm not really fussy about my planning. I don't want to do a cool pattern. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to have an X. Some people go through and they do little Hobonichi boxes here with their Hobonichi stencil. I just didn't want to take the time for that. I think planning should be a pretty even blend of functional and enjoyable. If you really love planning, if it's really your hobby, go for all the boxes, do all the pretty things. For me, planning is definitely a hobby, but it is also very important to me that I am not spending so much time setting up my planner as the year goes on. So when I get my planner, I spend a couple weekends really setting it up, and then I don't mess with stickers or stencils or any of that throughout the year. I really just write in it with a pen. Like, these are my tools for planning for the remainder of the year. I have stuck in some weight tracking stickers here because weight tracking and health and getting back into shape is one of my priorities this year. I really hope to do a good job with it. You see, for every single month, I've pasted in some inspirational quotes. And the way that I've set it up is every single month has a little weight tracker sticker somewhere in the beginning, as well as a tiny little habit tracker for the month for things that are health oriented, like vitamins, yoga, sculpting, walking, and meditating. So that will be tracked twice, but I feel like it kind of crosses over both areas of physical health and mental health. One of my favorite stickers, I think, that I put in for this section was this one. I run because I really like food. I do not run, but I do really like food. And I definitely have to work my butt off. So those were both pertinent. One of the other things I like about the Hobonichi Cousin is that it includes 3 more monthly pages than the calendar year. So you also have January, February, and March 2020 in monthly pages. So for those of you who travel for work or really need that extra forward planning, that's there for you. I don't need that, so what I use them for is different things. One of the pages I use for tracking like my course progress. Another one of the pages I use for passwords and things like that. I've just put in this interesting sticker from the Antiquarian sticker book. And then I use the last page for just overall gratefuls. I do keep a Hobonichi 5-year to write down my gratefuls, but sometimes you just want to write down a quick line, and I just love the look of filling this page up this way. Tissue paper, vintage florals. Just to add some interest. I am terrible at illustrating myself, but I really like the look of this, how it gives you that pen and ink look. Every single weekly page in the Hobonichi is set up very similarly. I didn't want to buy new stickers. I didn't want to make it too busy this year, so I went with a vintage floral sort of theme because I had some vintage stickers and I had some floral stickers. So very, very simple. I used a lot of translucent stickers, but as you can tell, I forward plan for the year and that's about it. And I try not to put too much in there because I really do use quite a bit of the page for my planning. Right along the top here, you'll notice it's a Monday start. Right along the top, what I do is I write down if there's a special event happening or someone's birthday. That's basically where I pop that in. So tax day, my friend's birthday. This was our first back to school day this year. And along the side margin, I used my gray zebra mild liner and I put in a couple of categories for home, for personal, and remember. Last year I tried to do it by swift tasks and slow tasks and remember. I didn't like that as much as I thought I would. It seemed very practical, but it just wasn't the type of person I was in terms of how I think about my tasks. I prefer to split it out by home and personal, and what I mean by that is things for the house, like I have to clean the dishwasher and the washing machine and all the pipes at the beginning of every month. Personal, I mean more of the things for our family, for myself, shopping things or Girl Scouts things or Taekwondo things I have to remember for the children. Remember is more for forward planning. So if someone tells me, I think I'm going to visit you in this month, that's where I'm going to pop that in. Or, I know that I have to prepare for something that's coming up ahead. That's where I'll pop that in. I pasted in these cute little meal planning stickers. I believe these are Happy Planner meal planning stickers in every single week because I'm not a meal planner, but I want to be. So I think this is a nice little gateway entry into simple meal planning. Where I try to plan it out every weekend for the week going forward. I color code my planner. It's basically based on what type of activity is. One color is for things where we leave the house. One color is for things where we stay in the house. One color is for times, appointments that I can't miss, whether they're here or there or wherever they are. And pink is actually for things that are just for me. Date nights, meetings with my mom friends, etc. Right down here, I have one zebra mile liner bar going across and it just says today, one time, and I just put my today list there. Things that I need to do that I haven't written down elsewhere that have to be done. Oftentimes I will have running to-do lists on my phone, but this is just something where these things have to be done and they have to keep moving. If I don't do it, I highlight the little box in red. I used to use my Hobonichi stencil to make these boxes. Nowadays I don't because again, the time it takes to take out your stencil is just not time I'm willing to spend. So I just go ahead and write my boxes. If I'm making a preset list, then I will go ahead and use the stencil because I want it to look nicer. I also have two little categories here, you'll notice, that say call and write. And that's basically for people I plan to call that week and anybody I plan to write to, whether it's an email that I have to get out or a snail mail type of thing. So if you can see going forward, every single page pretty much looks the same, and this is how I've set it up. Home, personal, remember, the little meal plan sticker, today, call, and write. And I just went through one day and did all of those at once, and it just saves you from having to reset up your calendar every single week. In the first few blank pages of the dailies, I've done sort of a reflection of the past year, as well as a description of why I picked the word I picked for the year. I also have a list of different types of goals that I want to do that I just lay out kind of like a word map. And I've also put in these little tip-ins at the beginning of every single month. These are from This French Mom, and I think I got the page as part of a bundle with something, but I like that it's just about 12 books. I like that it's like very restrained in color, and I just taped it in. I wish I had printed them on a slightly thinner paper so it wouldn't have bowed the binding of my book so much, but I do like having just sort of a running log of what I'm reading that month. Here you have my setup on every single blank page before the month starts. How have I helped or grown? A running to-do list and May highlights. And this is an example of somewhere where I will use the Hobonichi stencil and use their little boxes and make it look nicer than in the weekly pages. As I said, I'm not super fancy with my daily pages. I use them for a myriad of purposes. If you have never looked at a Hobonichi monthly page before, though, you'll notice that every single page does have these Japanese characters at the bottom, a little monthly calendar. It has a running timetable on the side, so 4 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon, or whatever you want to do. And then you have about 5 little check boxes here if you want to have your 5 most important priorities of the day. Some people use this as their timetable, they use this as their most important to-dos, and they use the rest of the page for journaling. I like that it's all so faint that you can use it for whatever you want. I don't do any timetabling here because my weekly pages serve that purpose. I also don't do any to-dos here. On some days that are super busy, I will use the entire page as my to-do list, but I'm very free-form with my journaling pages. Sometimes I paste in pictures my children draw for me. Sometimes I paste in articles that I've read that are interesting, photos from the day on sticker paper. I write my thoughts. I write my notes from different courses that I'm taking. I really use it as a free-for-all. At the end of the months, I've also put in this tip in. This was from my Power Sheets planner last year from Cultivating Your Life, I think is the name of the planner. I didn't actually use that planner too much. I did appreciate a lot of their goal setting prompts at the beginning, and I freehand wrote some of them in at the beginning of this year's daily pages. And I also really like these monthly reflection pages where they go over what you're especially grateful for, someone you're grateful for. I'm choosing grace over guilt about a favorite memory, a good lesson I learned. I like the idea of reflecting on this. When I buy planners that don't really work for me, instead of just trashing the entire planner, I like to take the pages that work, the questions that work, the prompts that work, and try to incorporate them into my next year's planner. I think it's totally fine to go through different resources to see what works for you best, and then to cull and pull from them to see what might work for you. And you'll notice I separate out my months by using washi tape. I've done this for a few years now. I really prefer it to using tabs. They don't get very beat up. They do a really good job visually of showing you where you are. I try to match them up kind of seasonally, so it's easy to tell where I am. So you can see like the December month has like sort of a Christmassy washi. November has acorns. So the tip-ins I keep with the same washi as well, just for consistency. When you get to the very end, you do have some blank pages, and I have used them, one for this tip-in here, and also for recording some shows and some movies that I'm watching. I might use it for a book list, a simple book list, but I have a separate book planner this year, so I may not. There's always this timetable page here. I believe it's designed to do like your train schedule or something like that, but I don't use it for that. There's always a piece of graph paper here, which I use to track Instagram and YouTube. There's a list here for favorites. I think for restaurants or places you like to go, I generally put in contacts that I call a lot. There's also a top 100 page. There's several pages in Japanese. I actually kind of like this because if you decide to glue in something, you're not using a page that you needed. You're using a page that you probably wouldn't read anyway. So here, you can see exactly what that tissue paper looks like. It comes rolled up like a little roll of tissue paper. These are just extras that I thought I might use somewhere else. And then when you glue it down, I just use glue stick, and it glues down sort of translucent where you can't tell whether you've drawn it or not. There's also a gift list here, address page here, and a personal ID information page. In the very back of my planner, I slide in, along with the black cover of my Hobonichi, this little Hobonichi notebook, and it's where I keep things like passwords, house details, paint colors, things that I want to save every single year that I don't necessarily want to rewrite every single year. So I find it to be like plenty of pages for what I need it to be. I also keep a couple of little bookmarks here and flags just so I can maintain my place in my planner. And speaking of that, these are the types of flags that I use. I use these sturdy Post-it flags for maintaining my spot on pages where I know I'll have to turn back frequently. For example, if I take notes on, a house appointment or a roofing fix or some numbers that I know I'll be calling often, I might put a sturdy flag there. A page that I might have to turn back to frequently. This is another type of that sturdy flag. I like Post-it. I think they make the best flags. And I use their very flimsy, thin, like book reading flags for the little notes. And you can just write exactly at the top what that page is and pop it in there. So I got this pack of little pen holders from Amazon, and I really like them, you guys. They come with 3M adhesive, so they're really nice and sturdy. And they have this leather pleather look with this little elastic pen loop. But whenever you have a planner that doesn't have something to hold your favorite pen in it, you can just open up the back flap and glue it in, like right there, and then you'll have a perfect little pen holder for yourself. So this was really affordable. I will link it down in the description box below, but I was really impressed with the look of them and how many come in one pack, because I am a planner and I know I will go through them. I love how compact this is. You can get any type of cover you want. If you're the type of person who likes to have a zippered cover, you can do that. I know a lot of people who use their Hobonichi as both their wallet and their planner, so they get like a wallet cover that allows them to just carry it in their purse, and it's just one thing to rule them all. I prefer this because I like holding my pens this way, and I don't really take my planner out of the house that much anymore. So this has just been my perfect planner. I love using it as a planner / journal, because then it is my book that records everything for the year. These are the books that I save. There are several planners I use where I don't save them every year, but I've saved every single Hobonichi, and it's just such a good record keeper of like what my life actually looked like. Not only what I thought inside my head, but also what I did in real life. So I cannot recommend it highly enough. I ordered them from Japan because they send you the pen and they send you these little extra cute things. And I just like getting that box from Japan, and that's just how I do it. But you can get it on jetpens.com as well, and I'm sure some other places. There are a lot of online groups for Hobonichi. So if you look on Facebook, you'll see Functional Planning for Hobonichi, which is a group I'm in. There's also, artistic groups for Hobonichi, like the people who do beautiful watercolor drawings in Hobonichis. You can really adjust this book to fit your personality, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. There is also a more inexpensive version of the Hobonichi weekly layout, you guys. And I recently discovered this planner. If I remember, I will link it in my description box down below, because it is very affordable. And if you like the layout of the weekly pages, but you don't like the Tomo River paper, or you don't need the daily pages, you might be really interested in this particular planner, and I will link it in the description box below. As always, you guys, thank you so much for spending some time with me. I really do appreciate it, and I wish you the very best in 2021. I know 2020 has been so hard, but I hope that we all have just a better year this year, because we sure could use it. So thank you so much for your time again. I wish you the very best day.